What's up, everybody? So I know many of you probably clicked on the video and you thought it was some kind of clickbait thing. You just want to check it out, give it maybe 10 seconds of your time. But I'm telling you, this is not clickbait. El Animal Filip Hrgovic will be the toughest test for Alexander Usyk at heavyweight. And if you're thinking, no, it was Joshua, or maybe you even thought it was Dubois, then hopefully by the end of this, you'll see why it's Filip Hrgovic. Many of you might be thinking that we're going to get the Fury fight next, but a lot of you, especially boxing fans, that are in tune with what's going on, you already know the IBF was expected to order the mandatory title fight, and they might even have ordered it by the time this video comes out. So that's why I'm saying Hrgovic versus Usyk is next. It might even be in December. That's what Sauerland was saying in a recent video. So don't expect the undisputed fight next. Expect Usyk versus Hrgovic. So now I'll just get to the nitty-gritty of why I believe Hrgovic is going to be the toughest test. So let's start with this. Number one, Filip Hrgovic will be the first heavyweight that Usyk has fought that hasn't taken an L yet. Think about that, y'all. If you haven't taken an L, you don't know how to lose. And we've all seen how Usyk puts a lot of mental stress, a lot of mental pressure on you. And the benefits to not having a loss is you don't even know what that feels like. And I think that's going to work in Hrgovic's favor. Hrgovic has plenty of amateur experience. He's fought Joseph Parker, Tony Yoka. So even though he's only 16-0, he still has tons of experience. And if you guys remember when Joshua lost to Ruiz, a lot of people say, oh, Joshua lost his edge. We want the old AJ back. Y'all remember that? Well, guess what? Hrgovic, he doesn't have that L yet. So I think he's going to continue to put on pressure. He's going to continue to come forward. Smartly, of course, on the smaller Usyk. And that's going to be to his advantage. People may think that Usyk's weak to the body, and that could be something Hrgovic could try to exploit. I really don't think that is. We all know that was a low blow, but that's still something that he could try to exploit. But mainly I see Hrgovic trying to apply pressure to Usyk. Number two is Hrgovic's last two opponents have been southpaws. So he went against Zhilei Zhang and he went against Demsey McKean. This wasn't in sparring. This was actually in the ring where he was protecting his IBF mandatory position or getting that mandatory position. So that's a luxury that Joshua nor Dubois had, having those southpaw opponents. And I don't think that can be understated. So no matter how much experience Hrgovic has had, going 24 rounds with a southpaw in his last two fights is huge. Absolutely huge. And I think that's going to play a role against Usyk. That experience is going to help him. Number three. So I think it's being undersold how much Hrgovic was hurting after his father passed away. So Hrgovic lost his father before the Zhang fight. They actually had to postpone the Zhang fight initially before he fought him in August of 2022. And when he fought Zhang, he wasn't himself. I mean, we saw some of that fight when he was kind of moving around in the 11th round and it looked like he didn't even want to be in the ring. It was very strange. That was probably one of Hrgovic's worst outings that I've ever seen. And I think that affected him. And then to come back in the Demsey McKean fight, where Demsey McKean was pretty negative. He was doing a lot of holding and it made for not an entertaining fight at all. I don't think he was that effective. And it also made Hrgovic not look that great because he didn't look very interested in getting McKean off of him, banging him to the body, doing anything. And he still was able to take McKean out in the 12th round, even with what a lot of people will look like or will look at as a lackadaisical effort. So I do think the time removed from his father passing, he's got a couple fights now. They were southpaws, but most importantly, that time, and as well as he wants to win that title and he wants to do it for his father. Of course, he wants to do it for him and his family that's still here with him, but he definitely, you know, he wants to do that for his father. So forget the Hrgovic that you've seen in the past. You're going to see the best Hrgovic that you've ever seen when he goes against Usyk. Now, will that be enough? We don't know. But I'm just letting you know why he's going to be the toughest test. You got to take all these factors into account. The way you see a fighter fight in a previous fight doesn't mean they're going to fight like that in the next fight. And that's how I'm looking at Hrgovic when he goes into the Usyk fight. Number four, Hrgovic's going to go into the Usyk fight with a actual recent fight if they fight in December, like Sauerland was talking about, because he just fought Demsey McKean in August. Usyk just fought in August as well. So if they can come back and fight in December, it's not like Joshua, who had a 9-month layoff, and then you had Daniel Dubois, who was coming off injury and the layoff because of the injury as well. That all comes into play, in my opinion. Southpaws, getting active. So now he has another fight under his belt. He's going to be able to go take a quick rest, get right back into camp, and then take on Usyk in December. Those all will play a role in him giving Usyk a extremely tough fight. Now, number 5. So number 5 is like a combination of a few things here, so you gotta just hear me out. So I was gonna focus on the sparring, but it's less about the sparring and more because I see Hrgovic marching forward a little bit more on Usyk, as stated before. I really think he's gonna be standing his ground and trying to counter what Usyk is trying to do, not going for those feints as much. And it's because he hasn't taken an L yet. He has that, of course he wants to win it for his dad. He does have that little extra that's going for him. Now, of course, a little extra doesn't matter if you're going against a superior fighter. I get that. But that still can push you to lengths that you didn't know you could go. He doesn't have the layoff. His last 2 opponents have been southpaws. That's going to help him out as well. And then we go into who he's been in the ring with. Hrgovic has sparred with Deontay Wilder. He has sparred with Vladimir Klitschko. He has been in the ring with some extremely talented. He doesn't have to worry about the power. You're not going to worry about him getting Dubois in this fight. I do not see Usyk knocking out Hrgovic. So that's one thing I don't think is going to happen. That's why another reason why I think he's just going to walk through some of the things that Usyk's trying to throw at him, especially when you've been in the ring with Klitschko and Wilder. So what do you guys think? Do you think Hrgovic's going to be the toughest test at heavyweight, or do you think it was Joshua? Think about those 5 points. Do you think it's valid? Would you still say Joshua was the toughest test at heavyweight based on the atmosphere and everything at play? Or do you think Hrgovic, because of the things that I outlined and stated here, as well as what's at stake for him after Hrgovic, which is a Tyson Fury fight? So that fight is still there. Not that Usyk would feel the pressure, but there is pressure because that's the fight that he wants, not the Hrgovic fight. Not that Usyk won't be motivated. Hrgovic will be as motivated as we've ever seen him. It will be the best Hrgovic. Coupled with those 5 things that I mentioned, Hrgovic's going to be the toughest test, y'all. Don't write him off. I'm telling you, he's coming. He's coming. And when you see that fight, I don't want anybody to be surprised at how tough Hrgovic was. I'm not saying he will get the win, but I think it's going to be one heck of a heavyweight fight. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Feel free to share the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me I'm crazy. It's all good. You know, it's all love. Let's talk some boxing, man. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.